Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. I almost messed up the intro today because I'm a little bit distracted. Big news happening today. I'm sure all of you guys have heard it already. But yeah, so if I seem a little bit distant, it's because I'm still, kind of trying to take it all in. But today is Saturday, November 7th, 2020, lucky number 7. And I found out kind of late, actually. I found out I took the girls and I all went out. My wife and my 2 girls, we went out and just spent some time outside, out by the river, on the banks of the Mississippi, and we were just hanging out and just trying to enjoy the beautiful weather that we have here in Iowa today. And then when we got back, I'd been getting so sick of, not sick, but I just been getting a little bit tired of the kind of the same news cycle for the last however many days, that we just listened to Kids Bop on the way home on the satellite radio in the car. And then we got in, and then my mother-in-law was like, so hear any good news while you guys were out there? And we're like, oh, no, what are you talking about? So she told us the news. So I told you guys yesterday that I wanted to make sure that I didn't learn about the final result or results. They're not final, from Twitter, but I'm glad that I found out from my mother-in-law. So there's that. Yeah. So very, very big news. Today is a day that I definitely wish I were still in Chicago. But I am concerned because I have been seeing, sorry, I think I'm overexposed a little bit. There we go. I'm concerned because I have been seeing a lot of people out in the streets celebrating, and they're getting pretty close together. A lot of them have masks on, but it's mask. You want to do mask and social distancing, and is my preference. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Says the guy who has been hiding out in a rural bunker basically for the last 6 months. So there's that. Before I get into who all is here today, I do want to welcome everyone watching this after the fact on YouTube, and anyone listening to the podcast in audio form. Welcome, guys. Good to have you guys here. Now let's see who's here and joining in. Let's see. Where was one that I wanted to get to first? It was from Philip. Says, I completely lost track of time today and almost forgot about the live stream. That's pretty much where I'm at. I can relate to that, Philip. And Philip, you're in Germany, if I remember correctly. So you're not even here, but yeah, I don't know if you're exactly talking about the same thing we're talking about, but I'm gonna pretend that you are. So there's that. Frank says, such a relief. Now I can go back to stressing about COVID. Well, yeah, there's that too. There always is still that. But here's the other thing that my wife and I are both still kind of we're like, yay, okay, yes, because it's still 2020 after all, the year of the plot twist, and so until whatever recounts have to be done are done, I'm still quite concerned. I'm cautiously optimistic at this point. But still there's concerns because it's not final results. But, Fox News is reporting that Biden has 290. So I feel like that's pretty good. That gives me enough confidence. And I don't know if you guys saw today. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I saw it on Twitter. Kamala Harris was out running today. And then she found out the news, I think. And then she called Joe Biden on the phone, which I think is amazing that they must have coordinated that somehow. Because how come Joe didn't know? The Secret Service or whoever told Kamala, and then all of a sudden it was but we're not going to tell Joe yet. We're going to let Kamala tell Joe. I just think that's a pretty funny way that they did that. Steve says, "Hey guys, hope you all are well." Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today. Martha says, "Democracy. The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated." Yeah, let's hope it's greatly exaggerated. David Litzone's here. Awesome. Yeah. He's over in Scotland, so he's not sure what everyone's kind of all excited about. But yes, I think at least a lot of the people here, I think, are excited about that for today. Yeah, Mark Ray says, what's going on? 11/7/2020. It's a good day. It's a good day. JC says, howdy. What's going on, JC? Steve said he had good fun this morning on the Trail Run 10K virtual. That's cool. Awesome. Good work. And it says, Kofuzi and everybody, busy day-to-day building a fence for my daughter. So no running, but I did manage half-hour rowing on my water rower. Oh, okay, cool. You know what's weird about that is I was today thinking about how a person goes about building a fence. I was like, if I ever had a property, I probably, my first inclination would be to hire someone to do it. But then I'm like, oh, then my father-in-law will be pretty disappointed. So I was like, what do you do? I got to get one of those things where you dig down, right? And then you like, it's those weird shovels so you can cement the posts. Is it like that? I don't know. I spent like 10 minutes thinking about how a person could build a fence today. Strange. Yeah. David Lidstone had that 1,500-meter time trial last night, so just resting. Awesome. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. How are you? Hopefully things are going well in New Jersey. Christian Schobinger is here as well. Good to see you again. Jay Jersher says, greetings from New Jersey. I think I said that right. Jersher? Maybe. Steve says, cheesecake and wine soon once my daughter goes to bed. One of my friends I guess I first met him on YouTube. My friend Colin Bloodworth. He is someone that I know from YouTube. And now I interact with him mostly on Twitter. We've actually never met in person. But fun fact, me and Colin and Seth there was like 4 or 5 of us that all had about the same number of subscribers. Although Seth had like 2 or 3 times, like he does now, like 2 or 3 times as many subscribers than I did at the time. And we were all like kind of doing our like daily video thing kind of together. This would have been like 3 years ago. But Colin's out in Portland. And he was tweeting like everyone should have cheesesteaks for dinner today. Yeah. Let's see. Miss CMR 80 says, nice hat. Cheers from Ireland. My phone is dying. Well, hopefully it hangs in there for the entire live stream for today. JC got in an encouraging 22-mile run, 2+ loops of the lake with a gorgeous sunrise. Oh, that sounds like a really great way to start the day. Awesome. Gulshan Paul says, hello from Bedford, England. What's going on? Hopefully the lockdown is going okay for you over there. Pete G1980 says, hi, Kofuzi. I'm sat by the fire pit drinking beer. I should suggest that to my father-in-law today. I think that today's a good day for it. It's unseasonably warm and it's a little bit windy. My father-in-law, like many Iowans, is very concerned about like the ever-changing weather conditions. He's always very good on giving the updates as to what weather's coming. Like he can obviously understand that I know what's going on right now, but he'll tell me like, oh, I think it's going to rain soon, or wind's picking up, or it's cooling off. So he always has that in mind. And the wind is particularly important to him because he's concerned about having a fire when it's too windy. So hopefully we could do that today. That would be a really nice way to celebrate. With cautious optimism. But I think, yeah, sitting by a fire pit, drinking beer sounds like a pretty fantastic thing. David Prabhu's here. What's going on? Dr. Punk 1216 says, hello, I feel like such a Nike fanboy today because I read half of Shoe Dog by Phil Knight and bought a pair of Alpha Flies. You know, I've still not finished reading that book. And here's the reason why. I bought it on like digital book, like ebook. And I never have time to sit down and like read it. If I would have had it on audiobook, I would have been done with it a long time ago. But now since I bought it in ebook, I'm not kind of like, I don't want to buy it like an ebook and an audiobook. That seems crazy. And then that kind of loops into something that I feel like is really like unfortunate. I feel like in the audiobook, there needs to be some sort of way that I could look at the text too. I mean, like, is there a way that I can get the audiobook and the text at the same time? Not because I want to like flip back and forth, but sometimes like, you know, like when I read a book, this happened to me a lot in Dina Castor's book, because she has these like little nuggets of wisdom that I want to make sure I get the wording down. I want to like memorize it and like have it as a mantra kind of thing. But like if you get it in audiobook form, there's no like, there's no highlighting. There's no way to like dog earing the pages or anything like that. So that's been frustrating for me lately. But that's a side tangent from what you were saying, Dr. Funk. But yeah, I mean, Shoe Dog was a good book. Well, at least what I read of it is a good book. And the Alpha Flies are a good shoe. So, you got two good products there. Raymond had a lovely trail run this morning and then getting the good news. Awesome. Well, yeah, see, good things happen when you run. That's what I retweeted on that Kamala Harris video clip of her calling up Joe Biden. It's funny. Jersher says, when are you going back to Chicago? My wife and I are starting to make some plans now for it. Not to go now, but like we've been talking a little bit more concretely about it. We're still working on it, but I'll tell you guys about it once we kind of have an idea. But we're getting, we're trying to think about like, I think, was it Pfizer? One of the pharmaceutical companies is going to be releasing data at the end of the month in terms of a vaccine. Anticipate that if their results are good enough to submit, that they'll probably be accepted. And as long as Fauci says it's okay, I'll get it too. And then, we'll see what happens there. But on the other hand of that, Chicago numbers are kind of not, is it spiking? It's increasing, it seems. And there were plans to start opening up some of the Chicago public schools to like preschool and special needs students. Just kind of like start getting some students in, but because of the numbers, they had to like backtrack on that. They were supposed to start like middle of next week, I think. So they're backtracking on that. So I think that's gonna, push everything back as well. So we'll see. We'll see. Tyler Gordon says, hey, new to chatting in the chat. Normally listen to it on podcast the next day on the run. Picked up the SL20 for 55 pounds. Nice. What is that little symbol back there? I don't know what this is. Anyone know what that is? This one right here? But awesome. Welcome, Tyler. Thanks for joining us live today. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Sorry. You guys are like chatty today. I'm sorry I'm so behind from you guys. TJJ says, hi, Kofuzi. What's going on, TJJ? Lovely cat. I used to have a cat like that. It looked exactly like that. His name was Fuzzy. It was my sister's cat, really. CV76 says, yo, what's going on? Mark Ray says, I ran 6 miles today for November 6th. Still need to run 7 miles today for November 7th. Kofuzi, if you were to start with 1 mile in the first of the month and so on, how many days would you make it? I think I might make it about 16, 17 days. I couldn't do what did Deslinden do? The Runtober? I couldn't do that because like doing a 19-mile day and then a 20-mile day, I think would be too much. I've done like 20 and like 13 before in like consecutive days, but like to do like a 19 and an 18, I think would be a lot. I suppose if you weren't doing it for time and you could take like some walk breaks, I'm not saying like split up the run completely, but like take some walk breaks, I think maybe then I could do it to like really just soldier through. But I don't know. I don't know how long I can make it. Martha says she got the news halfway through her run. Helped get through a run on which I was fatigued from the start between the stress and the 10K on Thursday. Wow. I mean, it's a good way to keep going. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Trevor Cross says, what's up? David Little says, Scotland, woo. Let's see. I don't know how to say that. Jasis says, what's up? I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce this right here. But I'll say it looks like Jasis for the first name. So it says, what's up? What's going on, Jasis? Ryan Pauly says, yo, what's going on? So glad the wait is over on the results. Let's hope it's not something crazy that's going to happen next. That's how I feel. That's where my mind is. That's where my concerns are, that, it's still, I mean, results haven't been certified yet. So, yeah, there's still room for something crazy to happen. And so, but I think for some of the things that, or at least I would say the majority of the messages that I've been putting out on social lately, or for like today, I think apply no matter how crazy things get. My wife and I, when we were over at the Riverside today, the girls were playing and kind of like, for the first time in a while, just like playing. I mean, they did that yesterday too. So we went back to the same place and they just played, which was nice. And my wife and I actually got to talk for a while today, which was nice. And we spent a lot of time talking about, how do we move forward no matter, regardless of what happens. I know there's a lot of people that are like, I have to unfollow people and I have to close people off. I've been telling people that you need to like delete Facebook, which is kind of like cutting people off, but that's, and what I mean is something slightly different than that. But at the base of it all is like, I hope that the result that we know of now maintains and that we can start putting in some more hard work. Luis Becerra says, yo, what's going on? Congrats, USA. Democracy wins. Yeah. Jason says Trump 2020. There's still a lot of Trump 2020 flags out. Well, at least there were on my run today. In their defense, a lot of those houses did take down all their campaign signs for all the other elections that have been decided already. But a lot of the Trump flags were still out there. And when I went running, that was this morning at sunrise. So no new like news had come out yet. So I appreciate that people are still rooting for their candidate. And but it made me think like, where do that was part of like, because I saw so many flags out there today, I was thinking, how do those people that have those flags, that spent money on those flags and house decorations and lawn signs and t-shirts and the other things that they're putting on their vehicles, how do you move forward for that person, and how do I move forward? So it's been a lot of things that I've been thinking about. Yeah, Frank said Joe knew 2 days ago, like everyone who was paying attention to the count. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why he didn't need the phone call. But a lot of all the news outlets were very reluctant to call it, which I think was a good exercise of caution. But yeah. Yeah, Neat Penguin says, hello, everyone. Anyone ever use Nike Shield gloves? Still on my quest to find good cold and rain gloves. I've never used the Shield gloves before. You know what? I did get an email about the other day. It's not me. I'm on the Gore-Tex email list. Gore-Tex makes cycling winter mitten, like the lobster ones that have like a thumb and a finger, and then the rest is a mitten. They make a winter one that's waterproof. So that's probably one that I would look at if you have a lot of cold and wet conditions, like raining conditions. Raymond Galicia says, what do you think Vice President-elect Harris wears? That's a good question. Someone else asked me that on Twitter, and I was like, I don't know. I tried looking at the video, but I didn't see. Here's my guess. My guess is because she was wearing a Nike half zip. So I'm thinking she's probably matching up. She's probably not wearing Adidas but I could easily see her running in some New Balance though. But most likely Nike. If anyone knows for sure, I'd love to know. Here's my guesses: Peg 37s or Metcons. That's what I'm thinking. And then I also saw someone posted that Dr. Jill Biden is a runner, and so there'll be runners in the White House again. We were talking about that yesterday, or was it on Trivia Tuesday? Yeah. So yeah. Ed Bud said, I think the new vice president was on the Complex Sneakers YouTube channel a while back. She's cool. She was, for sure. That was a pretty cool episode. She only bought one pair of shoes, and it was like a fundraiser shoe. So like, I understand like for potential like conflict reasons, she can't go out and like really buy a whole bunch of shoes, I guess, or maybe she could have. But I really was dying to know, like, in a shoe store like that, what shoes would she buy? Because she's been on the campaign trail in Chuck Taylor's, and she's been on the campaign trail in Timberland. So I'm like, if those are her picks for like I'm on a plane all day, like what would her like picks of like hypebeast shoes be? And what is her actual knowledge of that? I think that's what I appreciate what Joe LaPuma was trying to do, but I feel like we needed at least one like kind of jab at it. Like, what are the real, credentials in that regard? I mean, she's wearing Chuck Taylors and Timberlands on the campaign trail, so I feel like she gets a lot of points there. But like, let's dive into that just a little bit further. But maybe following the inauguration, there'll be a follow-up episode. That's what I'd like to see. George Hernandez says, "Hi, Michael. Got the best news of the year literally after my run. Awesome. Cool." Gulshan Paul is also excited for Trump 2020. But he goes from happy face to sideways happy face and then a clown emoji. So, yeah, okay. I think I understand what that all means. Daniel M. People are saying that Trump had the full 2020 experience. Caught COVID, lost his job, and he's soon to be evicted. That's pretty funny. Martha says, Romney's the only Republican who's congratulated, let alone acknowledged the result. The rest don't seem to mind compounding their already well-documented un-American legacy of violating all tradition. Is that true, though? I mean, I guess, is Cindy McCain, because she was on like Good Morning America this morning or something like that, wasn't she? Or yesterday? I don't know that she's, but I don't know that she's been interviewed since. But everything's happening. Everything just kind of happened before we got on the live stream today. So we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping for a lot. A return to some normalcy, I think, would be good. But on the other hand, I was talking about Mike today. It's like, but we don't want normalcy either, because normalcy wasn't great for so many people. That's how we got here. But who would have thought, though, that like, Mitt Romney would seem to be so reasonable. I didn't see that coming. That's another 2020 twist for me. Do you guys remember when the Snapchat, I think it was a Snap that came, I don't think it was a TikTok. I think it was a Snap that came out on Mitt Romney's birthday in the White House, and he had the cake and he pulled all the candles off the cake and blew them out individually. And everyone thought that was super weird. Like he was some sort of weird alien, but I mean, he was ahead of the curve. Or maybe he knew something, but no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, Mitt Romney being like the voice of reason was a surprise to me. Fibonacci says the reason why Kamala had to call Joe is because Joe was probably trail running and had no signal. I don't think he's a runner, is he? His wife apparently is, but I don't know if he is. Interesting. Ed Bud, 10 miles in the morning, Hoka Rocket X, loving that shoe. You know what? I'm extremely jealous because it seems like all my British friends have already not only have the shoe, but have been running in the shoe and have made their videos. And I pre-ordered mine like a month before the ship date in the US, and I'm still waiting for it. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow. But I mean, you guys always, I feel so jealous when you guys get to choose first, and which I feel like in a lot of ways, I feel like, yeah, UK, you guys are pretty run crazy. I don't feel that bad. Like when the UK or like Japan get like shoes first, I'm not as upset. But like, I still want them. I want them too, because it looks like fun. Dr. Funk 1216 says, have you been following the election memes? What was your favorite? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing about memes. They're not for me. They're not memorable. Like they're funny in the moment, and then like poof, they're gone. Andy's here. What's going on? Good to see you. Yesterday, Andy, when are we going to get some merch? That's what everyone wants to know. Well, that's what I want to know. And I was looking on Andy's YouTube page. I was like, surely he's got well over 10K. Why doesn't he have a Teespring integration like below like the video? And he doesn't have 10K yet. And so I was like, yeah, this is untenable. So I went on Twitter and I said, everyone got to go subscribe to Andy's channel because we got to get him to 10K. Then he can do the Teespring thing, and then I can order an FOD Runner t-shirt because that's what I want. And here's the other thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but this logo that FOD Runner does, if I'm correct on that, I think did CL Furlong make that? We've been talking about CL Furlong. And if you guys watch the Today Show, you've seen CL Furlong because I interviewed him on TV about doing a virtual New York Marathon. But other Australian running YouTuber, I think, made that logo. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Sorry, just muting some people for a moment. All right. Stevie76 says November is National Run Safety Month. I didn't know that. Is that true? Ben Y says, anyone have experience with the Indian herbal supplement ashwagandha? I do. I've been using it in, well, I took a break from it, but it's in there's Unibet sent me their like pre-workout powder, and you put like a scoop of it in some water, and it ends up making it taste like kind of like a very herbal or like a green tea, like a strong earthy green tea. And I was using it for a while every day before a run, and it kind of makes everything tingly a little bit. It's kind of weird. I stopped using it because when my knee was hurting, I whenever something goes wrong, I always stop taking everything that I'm taking, even vitamins. And I usually don't take vitamins, but so I haven't been taking it in a while. But I'm going to slowly start reintroducing stuff since I'm feeling better. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's see. Oh, and it's Dunbar telling me on the digging offenses. You're on point. Double handle spade, the thing. Lots of digging and a steel punch to loosen the ground and some post creep to concrete in the post. Okay. Well, I mean, I did help my father-in-law for like 30 minutes. That deck that's outside, I think you guys have seen the one that I used to film all the outside videos on that deck. We were here for the weekend or something like that. I don't know. For whatever reason, I only worked on it for like 30 minutes. But we were digging posts for that. So I remember doing that. Not exactly building a fence. But I remember we dug one hole so deep, we put my nephew inside it. I mean, he was only like, this would have been a long time ago, like 10 years ago. So he can drive now. So he would have been like my daughter's age, like 7 or 8, maybe. So, yeah. But I'm like, is that how one makes a fence as well? But yeah, I guess I'm right on that one. Cool. All right. Yeah, Brentstein says Brooklyn is in full. That's what I've been seeing on Twitter. And Chicago has been going crazy too. Yeah. David Litson says Vaporfly or Alphafly for 5K racing. I think I think you could use either one. I really like the Vaporfly 4%. It's really soft, and I mean, by today's standards, it's relatively low to the ground. So I would probably go with that. Although the Alphafly is also going to be a really good choice too, as long as there aren't too many tight turns. But yeah, because it's basically got like double carbon in it. That's the feeling I get. So yeah, both are going to be good. If I had both of them with me, I probably would still put on the Alphafly though. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Frank says, yeah, see how far behind? I'm going to just scroll down. He says, a lot of times when you look at an ebook in Amazon, it will offer the audiobook for an additional couple of dollars. A lot of times it's cheaper to get both than what you pay for an Audible credit. Oh, really? I'm going to have to look into that. Because for a lot of books, I would like to have both. There's some where I'm like, I'm not going to need both. But some that I definitely want to have a written and audio version. And Dr. Funk says, call me old-fashioned, but I still enjoy reading books in print. I read Harry Potter with my daughter, and it is nice to have like the tactile sensation is nice, and it is different on the eyes when you're looking at paper print. I've never really read much with the e-inks that are supposed to be so like paper-like, so I can't compare that, but I understand what you mean. Lilshan Paul says, does Strava not measure kilometers accurately as the Samsung app reaches 5K when Strava is around 4.3? It's not that it measures it accurately or inaccurately, it measures them separately. And so there's two things that, I mean, there's one GPS tracing that arrives. So let's say you're using this Samsung app and then you're pushing to Strava, or I mean, I'm assuming, well, I'm assuming you have one phone that's recording in one app and pushing to the other, probably Samsung app, then pushing to Strava. So what happens is when the Samsung app is running, it's using your phone's GPS and it traces everything and it just like lists it down. So like every second or so, or however often it's recording data, it lists like second and one, and then your GPS coordinates, and then so on. What all the apps do after the fact is then they kind of like look at all the data and then it creates a smoother line. So rather than it being like, here's where you were or where it thinks you were, it kind of like makes like something more sensible. Some of that, maybe it like pins it closer to like the roads, if there were roads that you were near, things like that. If there are sharp turns, like how does it deal with that? If there are things that might look like outliers, how does it deal with that too? And so when you see differences in the same run but on two different apps, it's because each app doesn't take the line that the original app created. It takes the GPS data, and each app processes the same data but slightly differently. So that's what's going on there, I think. But to see a difference of 5 versus 4.3, that's a lot. So it might be something else that's going on. Queen Beatrix says, Audios 5 or Audios 4? I think they're both pretty similar to me. I can't really tell too much of a difference. I haven't run it in a while. And in my Audios 5 video, I think I commented on the fit of the upper being a little bit different. It seemed like a longer shoe, a little bit more room in it overall too. So it depends on if you normally have like some issues with sizing. But if you normally don't, like I normally don't, size 9 is usually fine for me in most shoes. To the extreme majority, it's very rare that I have an issue with a size 9. The differences in the two shoes weren't all that substantial. Kyle Manwarren says, any winter glove suggestions? I have from Kraft Sportswear. They make a winter mitten that's for cycling and cross-country skiing. And it's like padded on the outside, and all your fingers are in here, and then there's a thumb. But I use them for running, and I love those. Yeah, Daniel M. with the super chat. You should scroll down and ban the troll. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'll keep a better eye on that. Sorry about that. And it seems to be like there's a lot of like political trolls lately. Normally there's regular trolls, but right now there's like a lot of them, and they're all political. So it makes me think that they're like bots. We've had some of those before in here, right? Or at least I think we have. I mean, you never know. Yeah. So I'm really thank you for letting me know, Daniel, and I will do better. I apologize, guys. Yeah, I'm trying not to censor people, because I just feel like if you want to participate, we'll pay attention to people if you want to come here and be a part. But like a lot of people, so it used to be that a lot of people would kind of like come in and like baba booey their way in and be like, you don't got to do that. You can be part of the group. Come in and be one of us, But lately it seems like all those trolls are bots that are just looking to like provoke people and get a reaction out of people. So, all right. So, yeah, let's see. Frankfurt says Trump bots. Really? Dang. I don't think they're Trump bots. They might be like Russian bots. I think maybe. I don't know. Who's making these bots? I'm not really sure. People who want to just agitate, I guess. So, yeah. Danny J says, I'd like to see more runners reviewing Craft products. They're a Spartan sponsor, but they make pretty good running gear. I have a pair of gloves and skull cap that I like. I have not found a Craft product that I don't like. I love the brand, and I have to restrain myself from buying like all craft stuff because I feel like I gotta spread my money around, so I'm reviewing more things. But I have a pair of the Sub Z. I don't know if they're gonna make more Sub Z stuff for this winter because it seems like all the Sub Z stuff is from last winter or even the winter before, and there's very limited quantities and sizes. So the Sub Z, I have like running pants, the Sub Z ones that I wish they had a couple more pockets, but I love running them in the winter. And I have a jacket that I wear on the coldest days. That's really good. I have the gloves. Yeah, they just make really, really great stuff. All right. D Rib says, what was your least favorite Pegasus in the last 34 to 37? I'd say 35. The 35 I felt like had a really hot upper material, and it was, speaking of sizing, it was tight. I don't think that I needed to size up, but any tighter and I would have. And so I feel like the sizing was wrong. And then when it went from 35 to 36, thinner material on the upper, a little bit more room. So that was like the big change for that. Although I think on the 36 they also went to full length zoom air as well, or air zoom. I think you call it air zoom, right? Not zoom air, air zoom. So I think the 35 was probably my least favorite. Sean Marshall says, what's the most miles you put on a shoe and what shoe was it? I don't put a ton of miles in my shoes anymore. But the last one I think was probably the Epic React. I think I put in like 340 something miles on it, and I kind of retired it at that point. But I easily could have run, I think, another 100 or maybe even 150 more. I think I could have got to 500 miles in that shoe. Like the React foam just lasts forever, and I enjoyed running in it too. Tubin Boss, what shoe has been the biggest disappointment so far in 2020? Hyperion Elite 1. Easy. Very easy question to answer that one. Bert says, my third pair of Hoka Gaviota 2 reached 500K today and feel dead like wooden planks. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. Frank also showing the love for craft. Says, my cycling jacket is the bomb. Awesome. Cool. Jack Ash 1975 said the Hoka Mach 4 looks fire. Someone's sending me a pair, so that'll be coming up soon. So I'm pretty excited about that one. Keyferification says craft is ultra expensive to me. It's not cheap. It's very expensive, but their stuff from the previous season usually gets pretty heavily discounted, so I would look there first. And the other thing that I would keep in mind is it is really durable. It holds up very, very well. Although I will say that for me, the mittens only last me about a year. And then I don't know what it is, but like the padding just seems to get like flattened down and it doesn't seem to be as insulative. So I like to get a new pair of craft mittens every year. I'm still running on last year's mittens. So like maybe I can make it last like half the season. So maybe I can get like a season and a half out of it, or like a year and a half out of it. But the other stuff, it's been washed however many times and it still feels like it's brand new. Vince Vanderpeer says, can't believe you bought those garbage Alpha Flies, bro. I wasn't going to, but I am going to be doing a talk on carbon fiber plate shoes. And I felt like I need to have that experience to be able, because I feel like most people are going to ask about that. And if I don't have that experience in them, it'd be kind of like a gaping hole in my kind of expertise. So I felt like as a shoe reviewer, I felt like I needed to have that information and experience. And then it turns out I like them. So they're good. They're no joke. Yeah. All right. Christian Grondick says, thoughts on the Adizero Pro for training? I know you said it wasn't the best racer. I think that it makes a lot of sense for me for like threshold pace work and faster. So 10K pace, threshold pace, 10K pace, 5K pace. I really like it there. I was hoping that it would be like a Super Boston 9 where I get like Boston 9 feeling, but a little bit more or a lot more cushion and like a carbon, like a little bit of bump from the carbon fiber plate. It's not really what I got from it. And so it just feels like it's more like a cushioned Adios 5, really, than it is like a marathon super shoe. So like it's I still think it likes to go pretty fast, but it does have more cushion in it. But still, I don't know. I'm still trying to like figure out like who they made that for. Martha says, Mike, can you tell us when that carbon plate interview will be? Maybe include a link. I don't have a link yet, but it's going to be in middle of January. So that thing with Rambling Runner is going to be it's multiple days long. I'm not sure exactly what slot I have. So, but it'll be, as soon as I get more information, I'll let you guys know for sure. All right. Recycle Wednesday says the mittens only last year. It seems way short. It does seem a way short. It feels very short because they aren't cheap. They're, I want to say $50 for those mittens, but I am sweating in them every time I go for a run. I wear them every day, and they have been good to me through ridiculous conditions. So like running in sub-zero Fahrenheit temperatures. So like, when they aren't able to really cut it at like near 0 degrees Fahrenheit, you notice it. So like, I feel like I'm pushing them pretty hard. And so like, that's, the thing that I'm looking for on them. For like freezing temperatures, I could probably get a couple of years out of them. Dan King says, greetings from the UK. Great news from the election today. ! Awesome. Says, any thoughts on lightweight stability shoes for races, half marathon to full? I'm afraid that I don't know as much about stability shoes. And so I try to stay away from them personally. So that's like a hard thing. Like I was just saying, like I need to have experience as like someone that reviews shoes, but like they hurt me when I run in stability shoes more than like a time or two. So, and I'm actually going to be talking about a Saucony update in a video coming up next week. But so I don't have a ton of information. I want to say though, I would probably consider from a stability perspective, like the Kayano Light, like something like in that category would be interesting to me, or something that has guide rails in it. And like the Revel from Brooks is a pretty interesting shoe. I've ran in it a couple times, and it's a Brooks that I really enjoy. I mean, I enjoy all the DNA Flash Brooks, but of their like the more traditional Brooks, I really do like is it the Revel? No, the Ravenna. That one has guide rails, and so that's one that I would look at. Dr. Funk says, do you think the Alpha Fly can be used as a long run shoe? They seem more durable than the X%. I think that they would be able to. Ben Johnson's has taken a couple of his to some high mileage. I forget, because he's got like 3 or 4 pair of them right now. And I think he just buys every new color that comes out. But he uses them as a long run shoe. That's how I'm primarily going to use it as well. And so, I'll be able to put it through the paces for myself, but I suspect that it'll be a pretty good long run shoe. I mean, I wouldn't do it for like I'm going for an easy 15 miler today, but if I'm going to put some faster miles in there, maybe some, practice on pacing, and I'm going to get some marathon pace miles in it, then I would definitely go with the Alpha Fly. TJJ says, do you know any comfy daily trainer road shoes with a large toe box? I would say the Ultra Escalante. I ran in the 2.0. That one had a very nice toe box. I felt like it was very comfortable. I ran in the Ride 13 yesterday, and that also has a comfy toe box from Saucony. Let's see what else is there. The Clifton 7 is not as wide as it used to, or roomy as it used to be. I think it's roomier than it was on the 6, but some people disagree with that. So maybe not that one, but the Clifton is usually a good place to look. or typically has been. And it says, Kofuzi, have you seen how fast young David Lidstone is? Only 14 and scary fast already. Tell him to run in heavy boots. He's putting us old guys to shame with those times. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was only 14. But yeah, I did subscribe yesterday. And I put a link to David's channel in the description of the other day's video when we're talking about new YouTubers. So, yeah, I'll have to go check out some more of his videos. I haven't had a chance to watch any of them yet. Alex Carr says, hey, Kofuzi, it's my first time tuning into the stream, but I've been loving your videos for a while. Awesome. Do you think the Stride Pod is worth the money? It's pretty expensive, but I am tempted. Personally, I think it is. When I was in Chicago, I appreciated the Stride Foot Pod for the consistency of the pace and distance information, and that alone was worth it for me. Because in an urban area, I was getting all sorts of weird GPS signals. If I was going on an underpass, if I was by too many skyscrapers. So like that alone was worth it to me. And right now I'm doing a training plan based on power, and I'm kind of really liking it. So I think it's worth it. It's not cheap for sure, but I've had the same one for like 2 or maybe going on 3 years now. So it's been a while. Yeah. David says, what's the longest, speaking of David Lidstone, what's the longest mileage a pair of Vaporfly had lasted for you? I think the first Vaporfly that I had, they were Vaporfly 4% and Bass Gray. I think I ran in those to 150 or maybe 200 miles. I don't remember. And then did I retire them? I don't know where they are. They still could have, I think I still could have run more in them, but I wouldn't really want to race. So here's generally how I break down like what I think about Vaporfly, and the Alphafly might change it, but I think that these numbers hold up for both the 4% and the next percent. I'm very comfortable getting to a marathon starting line up to and including 125 miles on the shoe. I think after that, once you get to about 150, there's nothing magic about it, but these are just kind of like the general, like, spots where I would bump up. At 150 and above, then I would kind of relegate that shoe to being like your long distance training shoe. Just like a nice, very cushioned shoe to run in, still very comfortable, still very forgiving, still feels very, very fast to run in, but maybe not to race in. I'd want a fresher pair. And how long they last, I think, kind of depends a lot on your foot strike and the materials that you're typically running on. So I don't think you're going to get like 300 miles in them, just because I think running on that Zoom X is going to chew things up. But it might vary for an individual person. And I know that's short compared to like a daily trainer, but these aren't daily trainers. CK Stoner says, great content. Just finished my first marathon. Awesome. Let's get a cowbell for that. Good work, CK. He says 5 hours, 41 minutes. Awesome. Hoka Bondi 7. Very happy with them. Oh, recovery suggestions? Thanks. Jackash 7, 1975 says Epsom salt bath. I've never tried that personally, but I like a lot of foam rolling, and I like a lot of laying down with my feet up against the wall so the feet are vertical and everything can kind of drain down. So those are some things that I recommend. I've also been playing around a lot with the massage guns, and I think I might like massage guns more than foam rollers, just because I feel like I can control the intensity of like the impact on the legs a little bit better than I can foam rollers. Foam rollers I have a harder time because like sometimes I feel like when you're like laying on it and you got your thigh on there, it's a lot. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I still have to play around with them a little bit more, but the massage guns are also pretty nice. Oh, Recycle on Wednesday says, was there never an update on how the wife likes the Merrells? She wears them anytime we're going to be out on the trail or in some inclement weather. She's been wearing them. She's good on the Merrells. She likes them. She's also been in the Ride 13s that I got for her as well. So at the beginning, she was very much not like a fan. But there was a day after we got the Ride. No, Yeah. So before we got the Ride 13s, we had a long walk in her old Peg 36s. And when by the time she got home, like her arches were like all cramped up and she couldn't like move for a couple of minutes. And then she's like, send me that link again to that shoe you've been talking about. So that's when she got the Ride 13s. And then when she first got them, she's like, I don't know about these. These seem pretty firm. And I was like, really? Okay. But since then, she's been walking around. Anytime we're walking more on pavement, she's been in the Ride 13s, and I think that they're working for her. And she has been enjoying the Merrills. And like our whole family has them. We'll have matching ones. All the girls have blue ones. They don't make a blue one for men, unfortunately. So I have an orange pair, but we have the same family shoe whenever we go hiking. It's fun. Yeah. Oh, thanks for asking though. Good memory. All right. Let's see. Danny J says the Epsom salt baths are good for replenishing lost sodium during a hard effort. What do you just absorb it like through the skin? Oh, directly. Oh, yeah. If I finished reading, I would have known. Directly into the skin and to the muscle. Epsom salt before stretching. I had no idea. I didn't know that's what it did. I know a lot of people swear by them, but I have not looked into it enough. Thank you. Dr. Funk 1216 says there's a trail. I think you mean trail ultra I want to sign up for in April. Should I run the 50K, the 50 mile, or the 100K? I'd say, I don't know. Dr. Funk, I don't think I know your running history, but I'd say go for the 50 mile. The 50 mile is like kind of the next ultra distance on my list. So I don't know when I'll be running. I want it to coincide with 50 miles is like 80K. So if the channel gets to 80K, then I would like to try and run a 50-mile event somewhere around there. We'll have to see like where we're at nationwide, but or even locally. But well, that's kind of like the next on my big goal list is to do that. So for that reason, I would say go for the 50 mile. All right. Let's see. Run Frankfurt says Epsom salt is basically a magnesium salt that gets absorbed through the skin. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to try that. But I was also thinking, like, how do I make a video about, like, Epsom salt baths? Do they work? Or, like, are they worth it? And I'm like, I was, like, visioning myself trying to figure out a way to shoot myself with a camera in the bath. And I'm like, I don't know if we want to do that. I guess. Someone mentioned earlier, I was, like, saying, I guess, I made the video about 2-inch shorts. So there's not much left to be bashful about. But the other thing that makes me think about is earlier someone was saying that like Bill Clinton was a runner and there's photos of him running around in short shorts. But I also saw recently a photo of Bill Clinton and Al Gore running together. And I was like, Secret Service let that happen? I'm like, I feel like that doesn't seem like a good idea. Like, don't you think that they would make them like split up? Maybe not run at the same time, like together. But like when in that photo, Bill Clinton had like 2-inch shorts that came down and were like flat across. But Al Gore had the 2-inch shorts that were like fully flared out on the sides, had kind of like the high, like, wait, what do they call it? When it comes high on the side of the leg, had that. And I was like, oh, now those are runner shorts. T for vacation said there isn't anything wrong with 2-inch shorts. No, there isn't. Well, the only thing that's wrong with 2-inch shorts is that there's typically not enough places to put your gels. For me, that's the problem. D-Rave said Bill was definitely a jogger. That's cool. After he was president, he went vegan. And he talks about it a lot, how he misses cheddar cheese, which I think is amazing. But yeah. Oh, yeah. CK Stoner. The word I'm looking for is split shorts. That's right. Split shorts. Yeah. Sean Marsh says, I wonder if a carbon plate would set off metal detectors at the White House. I don't think they would because it's carbon. Like it's like a more of like a not a fabric, but like I guess it's rigid, but like it's the fibrous material, not like carbon steel, right? I don't know. Good question. Hmm. And it said we should do a shout out to Remy. He had a bad spell on the bike. I saw that. I saw that. That he was. Well, he wasn't. He didn't have to go to the hospital, did he? But he got banged up pretty bad. Yeah. So Remy, if you're listening today, I don't think I saw you in here, but if you are listening here today, I hope you're all right. He had a spill on the bike. Robert Davila says he wants to know if he was okay. Um, he's okay. But he had a spill on the bike. His helmet is all bashed up, but I don't think he broke anything. But I think it was definitely a big scare. So yeah, but I think he's all right, but definitely shaken. So, but I think he's okay. So hopefully he'll get back into the live stream and back out there soon. That is one thing that concerns me about cycling is just the speed involved. And like when, if I fall down when I'm running, that's one thing. But if I fall when I'm on a bike, I've never fallen on a bike, not as an adult, I don't think. So like if I fall on a bike, that just makes me a little bit scared. All right, let's do a couple more here. Let's see. Oh yeah, Danny J said he had to go to the ER. That's right. He's a photo wearing a neck brace. He's a champ though. Hard MFer for sure. He's tough. And Shannon says he's at a bet today. Good. Well, good. Martha saying about the carbon plate. When we flew to Sacramento for CIM last December, others on the plate had vapor flies either on or hanging from the carry-ons, and no metal detectors went off. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it would set them off, but good to be sure about that. Roberto Davila said he had to work long. Where'd it go? My mouse just froze. There we go. Roberto Davila said had to work long hours this past week and had to run in the dark. Not pleasant. No one understands. Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people understand that more than me, but like I can definitely understand that. I'm not. I think I think I end up saying it like every day. I don't really like running in the dark. Yeah, Maui Swift saying that carbon plates are fiber or graphite fiber. Yeah, so like more, I guess not like exactly like a pencil, but they're not like metallic, right? All right. Martha says titanium doesn't set off metal detectors either. Hip replacements and other surgical uses. Yep. But you know what? My father-in-law has had double knee replacement, and he always tells the people when he gets to a metal detector, like, I got double knee replacement. So I don't know if he, I don't know. Maybe it sets off the other ones, the scanner one that goes around you like that. But I feel like they would know that or be able to see it. I'm not sure. Oh, I Run Pro Rob says, any advice for patellar knee pain on both incline and declines? I am not a medical professional, but I can kind of relate to you on that. And for me, there's the two main things that I think worked the best for me in terms of that was massaging like the tendon above and below the knee. So get in there, really like dig in there and like massage it for several minutes at a time, like a couple times a day. And also what I did was a single leg squat. And sometimes I would have to have like chair to like lower me down a little bit because I couldn't do it all the way. My leg wasn't strong enough. But that seemed to like load the knee in a way that was like not painful in a good way, right? And then it would kind of hurt, but then afterwards you'd be like, oh, that hurt, but that was good. That was a good hurt. So that's kind of one of the things that I did a lot of. So that's, I mean, and Seth, when he had runner's knee, he did a lot of like squats on the slant board. So your toes are kind of angled downward at like a 30-degree angle or so. And then he did a squat there. So that's kind of like what he did. We'll do one more. James Finch, any advice for lower back pain when running? Happens about 1 or 2 miles into running. I always stretch before running too. I would probably say I would say, sorry, I'm just reading some of these comments. I would think maybe your glutes are not activated. So the two glute exercises that I like the most, well, there's three. Is one is like the clamshells when you're on the sides. It's kind of like the so like these are your knees and you're laying sideways and you like open them and close them. So I do those, and then I do monster walks where I have like those exercise band around my knees and I like try to move over and then back and do some of those walks. And then the third one I do is kind of like a lateral leg raise, but instead of just going like directly, like if this is like my groin and these are my feet, instead of just going straight up and down like a regular lateral leg raise, I kind of like go up and push back a little bit, up and push back a little bit. And then that seems to, like when you hold it in that direction and back, that seems to really work the glute medius a lot more. And I feel like that's the feeling that I'm trying to like remind myself of when I'm running, is that kind of like glute activation. So that for me, I've had some lower back pain when running before. Typically it happens like later in a very, very long run, but that's what I'm thinking it might be. So hopefully that helps. All right. I'm going to have to leave it there for today, everybody. So thanks for tuning in. I know there's so many comments that I didn't get to today. Sorry about that. Like I mentioned at the top of the podcast or the live stream, I'm a little bit distracted today. But yeah, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of today. Even if, the entire world changes tomorrow and it all falls apart, I can at least say that I had today. So I'm going to go spend time with my family, enjoy some good weather. Hopefully you guys can do the same. Tomorrow I'll have a video up. Not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I'm working on it. And then we'll do another live stream in the afternoon. So in the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again.